Hello everyone, happy October. It's finally here, the spooky month. We have a lot of books to talk about, and what better way to start your Halloween season than with these 3 new releases. All 3 of these are excellent as always, and there are 3 that you will want to check out and buy for yourself. And I can't wait to tell you all about those. And just a reminder, if you want more spooks for your buck, I have 3 horror books for sale. They're only $1 each, and you can find those books that you see on your screen at the link in the description below. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first of 3 books I want to talk about today is the latest one from Rachel Harrison. It's called Black Sheep. And the thing I like about Rachel Harrison's book is that she has a tendency to take all these old horror tropes and she puts them in modern times. She makes these very rich, interesting characters around them that you can't help but get behind, even though they're all flawed in some way. And she just modernizes all those tropes and makes them her own and gives us these fun, really scary, freaky stories that I really enjoy. And this one, I think she's outdone herself. This one had a twist pretty early on that I didn't see coming, and that changed the whole course of the book for me, and it really left an impact. But basically this is about a woman, and she grew up in a small town, a really small town, more like just a little community. And this whole community is involved in this religious order, cult-like thing. Everybody in town is a part of it, and it's one of those religious orders where if you leave for whatever reason, you are ostracized from your family, from your friends, from the community as a whole. They will have nothing to do with you, and you can never come back. She did that 6 years ago, and she's living her life now. She works as a waitress in this restaurant. She hates her job. She doesn't like most people. She's very sarcastic and very much a loner type of person. But one day she gets a wedding invitation from this community, and there's a couple of people getting married. They invite her to the wedding, but she's conflicted because first of all, she shouldn't have been able to come back. Second of all, she doesn't know who sent the invitation. And third of all, the people getting married are her former best friend, her cousin, who she considered more of a sister when they were growing up there together, and the only man she's ever loved. The only man that she's ever had a passionate love affair for, that she was in love with. And so apparently after she left, these 2 got together, and now they're getting married, and she's not sure how she feels about that. But she has been missing her family, so she decides to go back. And this is where we're going to learn something about this religious order that changes the whole course of the book and what it's about. She does have a mother. Her mother is very demanding. Her mother is a horror movie scream queen. Everybody's familiar with her work, all these horror movies she makes. But she's very off-putting. She doesn't really care for her daughter or family at all. She's very stoic. And she kind of rules the roost around this little community. But she has no real love for her daughter. Now, her father left when she was young. She's seen him every so often when she was growing up, but not a lot. She was always excited when he came home. She has fond memories of her father, but we're going to find out something about her father that will change that as well. And I don't want to give anything away because for me, this was like the mind-blowing part of the book. I absolutely enjoyed it. We're going to find out what this religion is, what her father is something else. Trust me on that. And it's just, again, the way that she writes, putting these tropes into in the modern times and centering these awesome characters around them, really makes for a fun, spooky, scary read. And this was one hell of a good time, literally. And I can't recommend it enough. There is a link down below where you can purchase your copy, and yes, I highly recommend it. And next we have Schraders Cord by Scott Leeds. If you like music, this one is going to be right down your alley. This concerns the world of music collectors, you know, the vinyl collectors. people who will go out of their way and search far and wide and pay a good sum of money for like first press releases of different albums, albums that are supposed to be out of print, first editions. And we're going to dive into that world with this one. A man owns a music store, and this is his obsession. And one day he, well, it appears he's hung himself from a tree outside of his house unexpectedly. Gave no indication anything was wrong. They just found him hanging there. And his children come back for his for all the funeral stuff they have to do. And in the reading of the will, the son realizes his father, first of all, left him the business. And he and his father have been estranged for a long time. They have not gotten along in past years, and they haven't spoken in many years. So he's not really sure if he wants to keep this record store or not. But his father also bequeathed him a box. And in this box, very cryptic message left by his father about what the contents are. And we are going to find out about that, because basically this is about, Schraders Cord is about 4 vinyl records. And when they are played all at the same time, this chord all comes together, and it's cursed. And it's supposed to open the realm between the living and the dead. But at the same time, the people who played those records are also cursed, and they are marked for death by Schrader himself from beyond the grave. And they are all marked for death in brutal, horrifying, bloody ways. And of course they can't help but go ahead and play those records. And this is a matter of life and death after that. It's fast paced. They are in danger around every single corner, because yes, now they're seeing dead people everywhere. And if that's not bad enough, knowing that they are marked for death, and that at any moment, day or night, this Schrader, the one who made the chords, is going to come to collect their souls, and he's going to do that by brutally killing them. And so they have no idea what to do, no idea how to stop it, but they're going to get some help from some of the undead. And that's a fun part of the book. That was really interesting to read, how this author dealt with the subject of ghosts and spirits and the way they move and operate in our human world, trying to help these people figure out what they can do to stop this curse before it's too late, if they can at all, because it doesn't seem to be possible. And they are all being affected in different ways, and things start getting worse and worse and worse. And we're going to have a big climactic ending there, you know. And this was just an excellent book. I love that, how he took the cursed records, and then he gave us this glimpse into what it's like being a ghost in a modern world, and updated that trope a little bit. And it was just a great read. I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. And again, you can find the link for it in the description. And finally, we have Dead End Tours by Ashley Lister. This is his latest one. This one just released a couple days ago as I'm making this video, I believe. And it's one you definitely want to read. This is set in an old abandoned psychiatric hospital at night in the dark with supernatural things going on. That's really all you should need to know about that to be, yes, I want to read this book. But this is about 2 tour guides, and they give the tour of this abandoned psychiatric hospital. They don't do it legally though. They just kind of break in, and anybody that has the money can go on an urban exploration of this building, as they're calling it. So they have no insurance. They're kind of operating under the radar. And during these tours, one of the tour guides will give a historic tour on one end, and the female tour guide will give a ghost tour on the other end, because this place is haunted. And she'll show them all the areas that are haunted. And these people on this part of the tour will see things. We'll see these supernatural things happening. The historic part of the tour is mainly for the history, but the guy likes to add some man-made scares in there. He's working with a partner inside to make spooky sounds and manipulate things at certain times, trying to freak out the people on his tour. And as the night goes on, we are going to hear stories about this psychiatric hospital and some of the characters from it from the late 1800s. And what I really like about this book and the way it's written is that we'll start hearing a story about some of these people, some of the very bad, evil people and the things they did back in the 1800s at this hospital. But then we'll actually go back in time and we'll get to read it and experience it from the perspective of these people. And I really like that form of storytelling where it takes you back in the past so you can see what's happening instead of this tour guide just telling you everything. And then we'll pop back into the present and we'll begin to see that there are some things starting to happen that are not natural, that are not man-made or manipulated. And as the supernatural events start building up and building up, there's also a couple of party crashers, very murderous party crashers, that happen to break into the building at the same time because this building is supposed to be, it's supposed to lure people in who are of evil intent. It attracts the evil in people. And so they have this very physical element, these people that want to murder them basically, and then you have the supernatural element on top of that. All the while they're taking these stories of these people back from the 1800s and just and it's a great story about what happens there. So is this place evil? Does it attract evil people? Or are the stories that they're telling and these tours that they're giving illegally, is that kind of keeping all this macabre things alive? That's the basis of this book, and it's an excellent, excellent book. It's a fun read, not so much fun for the characters, but I had a good time with it as we went along and learned about these different people and events that took place. And yes, I highly, highly recommend this one too, because it is a banger. And you definitely need to pick this one up. And at the time I'm making this video, this one is only 99 cents on Kindle. So definitely don't want to pass on that, less than $1. And you can get this excellent, excellent book for your Halloween season. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.